talk to you guys about a few different things. Originally, I just wanted to do a video about mental health and art and how the two things are related. However, it's been a while since I've made a video, so I thought because of that, I want to touch on a few things that have been going on, and I'll apologize right off the bat. I haven't made a video in a while. My tics have been really bad lately, and so I just didn't feel like getting in front of a camera. And I've also been really busy with my new book, so I have pretty good excuses. The three things I want to touch on, well, obviously I already mentioned the mental health issue, but I wanted to talk about my book and the campaign and kind of an update on that. And I also wanted to talk about copyright infringement, which is like a huge issue and something that I just dealt with yesterday, and I'm pretty furious about it. And so I'll just start there. It was brought to my attention yesterday that somebody is selling t-shirts and prints and posters with my artwork on it, and they are not crediting me, and the prints and posters that they're selling, they are like undercutting prices that I'm selling them for on my own Etsy page, which means that it's taking away business from myself. So they're using my own art basically and not crediting me, but to take away sales that I could be having. And so that is obviously infuriating. And I sent them a letter. I sent them a cease and desist letter. And I'm hoping, I said, I give you 48 hours to take this down. I hope they do, because I really don't want to have to take legal action. However, I absolutely will if I have to, because what they're doing is totally wrong, and I'm not going to stand for that. So that's the thing I wanted to talk about first, just because I want to get it out of the way, and then talk about things that I actually wanted to be able to talk about today. That just is like a last minute type thing that I really just wanted to say. And if you are the person, because I'm assuming that the person that's doing this probably follows me on Instagram. I mean, I don't know how else they would have found my work. So if you're the person that's doing this and you're watching this video and you're selling my work without crediting me, please just message me and we can deal with this in a very civil way. It doesn't have to go to legal action. I just want to square this away. So please message me if it is you. All right, next thing, some really good updates about the book campaign. So my new book, it's at the printers. I've got the proofs and I've approved of the proofs, which means they're printing them. And they should be sending them to me pretty soon, I would imagine. I would imagine they'll be shipping them out within a week or two. And I'm having all of the pre-orders shipped to me it's overseas, so they're going to be flown to me. So I'll be getting like a couple hundred copies of the book flown to me so I can fulfill all of your pre-orders immediately. And then the rest of the books are shipped by boat because it's much cheaper, so those will take a couple of months. So if you don't pre-order, you'll still be able to get the book, but you'll have to wait quite a bit longer. So just a thought about that. And of course, I was able to reach my goal on my Indiegogo campaign, which is awesome. But it's still up for another 18 or 19 days until the end of this month, basically, till the end of August. So if you still want to pre-order, I've got like signed prints available, both copies of my book. I'm doing 25 one-of-a-kind versions of the book where I'm going to be doing drawings inside of them. So that's another cool thing that if you're interested in, definitely check that out, because those are like limited edition one-of-a-kind books. It's kind of a collector's item, I guess. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is something that's pretty important. It's about mental health and art, and how art can really help with your mental health issues. I've dealt with anxiety and depression for quite a long time, and I've dealt with tics and Tourette's for most of my life since I was a kid. And the anxiety can make the Tourette's and the tics really bad. And so the difference between tics and Tourette's, or chronic tics and Tourette's, is very minimal. They're very similar. Usually someone with chronic tics, they might have like facial tics or different finger, I used to do that a lot. I don't do it as much anymore, but I would have finger tics where I would like every word I heard people say, I would type them out. Or I used to play the piano, so I'd always be like typing piano notes out. like all the time. And so those are tics that thankfully I don't do as often. But Tourette's, the difference between Tourette's and chronic tics, I'll get back to that. So to have Tourette's, you have to have at least one vocal tic as well as motion tics. And so in a vocal tic, usually you see it portrayed in like movies and TV as someone like swearing, but that's pretty uncommon. Most of the vocal tics that people have with Tourette's are throat clearing, sniffing, basically anything you can hear. And so I have some tics that are like that. I don't swear or yell words out, but so my tics aren't quite as bad as they could be, thankfully. But my main ones are really in my face. I do a lot of blinking, and I move my nose around quite a bit, and my eyebrows, and those are all things that are like cyclical. So sometimes they won't be bothering me much at all, and sometimes they'll be like extremely bad to the point where I have like the hardest time falling asleep because I'm laying there and like my mind's going crazy and my tics are going crazy, and you can imagine that it's hard falling asleep with that going on, with twitches and tics going on. But the reason I wanted to talk about it is because it's related to this book that I'm doing in a way. My sketchbook is like one of the main ways that I help my tics. So there's not a lot that doctors can do for people with tics. If they're very severe, they might try you out on some different medications which have pretty bad side effects. And there is a new thing that they're doing for people with really severe tics where they can put like a chip in your brain, but they're only doing that with very few people. And so the main thing they recommend with tics are like behavioral therapy and trying to like concentrate on other things when you feel like you need to tic. I've personally found that sketchbooks and drawing has like been a huge help to me, and I'm going to try to explain why. Basically, how it feels is like I have all this nervous energy built up, and when I tic, that's like that nervous energy. It's like a way of releasing the pressure almost. I don't know if that makes any sense, but and so it's like a neurological condition. It's something going on in your brain that makes you feel like you have to tic to release this pressure of nervous energy. And so when I'm doing things like watching TV or reading a book, that is not enough to release the pressure. Like I'm using my mind in a way, but it's not enough to fill. I don't know how to explain this. I guess basically what I'm trying to say is when I'm drawing, I'm using my brain, but I'm also using my motor skills, and I'm using my body. And so when I'm using all three of those at the same time, for some reason that's enough to release the pressure, and so my body doesn't feel like it has to tic. And so while I'm drawing, I don't tic. And that's like the best way I can describe it. And so basically, when I'm drawing, my tics, instead of coming out of my face, they're coming out of my pen. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what it is. And so drawing has been a huge help for my mental health. And if you've got like depression or anxiety or tics, obviously, I recommend trying some type of creative outlet to relieve that. And I think it might be helpful to you. A lot of you that are following me probably already do things like that, or probably already creative people. And so I might not be telling you anything you don't know, but the reason I'm saying it is because it's been really helpful to me and really important to me. And so this new book that I'm doing that will be out in just a couple weeks is all sketchbook stuff taken from my sketchbooks. And so it's like, that's why I called the book Remedial Sketches, right? What I mean by remedial is they are remedy. The sketches have been a remedy for my mental health problems. And so that's why the book is very important to me. And I'm hoping that you guys connect with the drawings and you connect with the sketchbook stuff in the book. That's basically what I wanted to say. And so I really want to thank you guys for all of your awesome support. I think I just hit 45,000 followers on Instagram yesterday or the day before, which is just amazing to me, the fact that there's that many people that are like interested in seeing what I'm doing, seeing my work. And so thank you for that. And I hope this video was helpful. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. And I'd love to hear from you what helps with your mental illness, or if you have any mental illness. I just assume everyone's watching this has mental illness. But all right, take care, guys. Bye.